Hi, welcome back to The Veil, The View from Beyond with the Small Mediums at Large, Rebecca, Leah, and Kate. And we are just chit-chatting about our spiritual lives as real people. Leah's a retired firefighter, Kate's a cop, I'm a teacher slash speech therapist at a public school, and we've all had massive spiritual experiences and awakenings, and we like to bring it down to the real world. One of the things we were going to talk about this week is how manifestation is happening in our lives really fast.
Mhm.
It seems like when we think about something, it's coming up in the world around us pretty quickly. Um, I don't want to talk for too long. Leah, do you want to tell your story first and then I'll share mine?
Yeah, because just today, as a matter of fact, twice today, I read a book this morning, this little quote thing about some, life learning thing. And it showed up twice during my day. And then Kate gave me a call this afternoon, and voila, it was all about the stuff I read this morning. So it was
Wow.
really interesting how that showed. But this afternoon, I was telling the girls that I took my dog out for a walk and it was just too hot. And he didn't feel well because he got some shots yesterday. Anyway, he laid on somebody's lawn and he's 175 pounds. And if he doesn't want to go somewhere, there's no way I'm carrying him or making him go. So he laid down. I got really nervous and I didn't know what to do. So I sat there for 5 minutes, giving him a rest, and then thought, we got to get home. I got to get him home, get him some water and stuff. And I was about 2 miles out from my house. And I looked up and said, God, you need to send me somebody with a truck who's going to pick me up and the dog and take us home because I can't just leave him here by himself. And I stopped what I said and I said, it doesn't have to be a truck. It just has to be somebody that will give us a ride home in whatever vehicle they have, as long as they're willing. And not 30 seconds later, a neighbor of mine who doesn't ever go that way, who always comes by my house this way, um, pulled up and I said, help. And she stopped and she goes, do you guys need a ride? She just had grocery shopped on top of it. And so she had tons of stuff in the back and tons of stuff in the front. And she sat there for 5 minutes moving everything. So me and the dog
Oh,
could get in, which was so nice. So my husband actually just bought her a bouquet of flowers. I'm going to bring her down tomorrow just
that's so
because.
sweet.
But the first thing I think of was, oh, thank you. I can't believe it. And I'm so glad I didn't say just a truck because people have more than just. So you have to keep your mind open when you
Yeah.
when you pray or you manifest for something. Don't block yourself out by saying you need it to come a certain way, right? I just
Right.
just knew it. Don't ask for that. Like just somebody that will give us a ride, and there it was.
That's so
I
cool.
I learned a
Yes.
catch-all phrase for that. That seems so simple, but I was like, whatever you're praying for at the end, just simply say or something better,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
right?
this
hadn't
or
That's the
thought
something
about
catch-all,
better.
that.
I love
right?
that.
You don't box
Yeah,
yourself in, but there's the catch-all. So you could pray for
yeah.
somebody to bring a truck or something better.
That's so
Actually,
cool.
I already knew that, right? And forgot. So thank you. Thank you for
Yay.
saying
That's a
that's
good
awesome.
reminder. So this is the story that I was going to tell too, similar. Actually, I have two. So when my friend visited Colorado a couple weeks ago, we were going up to Boulder for the day, and I was trying to explain to him about manifesting. And I was like, look, anything you think about is like I've read and I believe now that the world is like a copy machine for our thoughts. And it's just like whatever we're emitting eventually will show up in the physical. And I was like, look, let's just think of something random and see what shows up in our day. And I was like, let's just manifest cats. Like we're driving to Boulder, like cats, anything with and it was like kind of a joke. And then when we were in Boulder, we were at a shop and I went to go check out and the checkout guy was like, oh, your friend's name, I have the same name. And he checked me out and he was like, also, here you go. And it was like, he's like, I've just been really into cats lately. And it was like a stack of 10 cat stickers. And it was
Oh
like all
my
these little cats. I was like, oh my gosh, this
gosh.
is real. Like, we need to manifest something way better than just cat stickers. Like,
Lottery
for,
numbers.
yeah, like manifest a cabin in the woods. I don't really know. I'm like really focusing on something better than that. But it's just like when you start to put your thoughts towards something, it happens and it's wild. So your mind is powerful, your attention is powerful. The other
And
thing that comes
words.
your words.
Your
Yeah. And
words.
especially when it's when you know when they say when two or more are gathered, like
Mhm.
it's true. Like my friend and I were like manifesting together.
All right, girls, lottery numbers, lottery numbers.
Lottery numbers, yeah. A
But you know
cruise.
what? Actually,
Yeah.
what you're actually bringing up for me is a while back, and I still have a copy. One of the best spiritual books, if you want to call it, was by this woman, Frances Scovel Shinn. And she
Mhm.
has an entire like series of books. And she was like back in the 20s, 1920s, right?
Wow.
And so she didn't call herself like a manifester or spiritual person, like because what was ever popular back then. But she talks about when you ask for something, all you have to do is ask, but your words are important. But she said, just like you did, Kate, before with or something better, she would say, um, I would like a new car under grace in the perfect way. And I
Ooh.
always say that because she didn't want to manifest a car. Say if what if her uncle had the car she wanted and her uncle passes away or something happened to her uncle just to get the car. So it's
Right.
kind of to keep the negative part away.
Right.
So whenever I ask for something as well, I always say under grace in the perfect way, meaning let it come to me in the best possible way without any harm to anyone else.
I love it.
And I
Underground.
love her book. She has a lot of stuff about it. If you
Ooh,
ever,
you
I
have
don't know
good
if
book
you've read them. They're
recommendations.
really
No.
fast reads, but she's so good. She's even on YouTube. You can
Okay.
listen to somebody reads her books on YouTube and they are fabulous.
Okay, we'll link her t books in the description.
Yeah.
That sounds really,
I
really
always
cool.
I always wish I could channel her because she was like to me she's like an Edgar Casey woman
Wow.
back in the
Wow.
day who just didn't sleep doing it, but I
You
think she
should
had the
try to
downloads.
channel her. That would be really cool. I
That
bet
would be
she's
really cool.
probably
I
one of your
could try.
guides, I'm assuming.
What's that?
Do you think she's one of your guides, kind of, since you've connected to
Really
her?
cool. I don't know, Rebecca, you're the angel person, is she?
I think anytime you call in someone that you're like his deceased or is on the other side, like they kind of become part in your space, in your
Yeah.
aura for a while.
I would love to channel her or Wayne Dyer, man.
Oh, he's
But
really cool.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have the Wayne Dyer stories, remember? From practicing that concept of calling somebody in and
Mhm.
talking with them. I have had Wayne Dyer and
God.
oh god, yeah, that was the first one. But is it Julie Cannon? The oh, I've got the name wrong.
Oh, Dolores
Dolores
Cannon.
Cannon. Thank you. I think Julie's the
Yeah.
daughter.
Is she
Um,
on the other side or is she still alive?
the
Dolores
Dolores
passed.
is passed.
They post stuff on Instagram like she's still alive, so
I
I
think
got
Her
confused.
daughter.
yeah, I think your daughter's
Okay,
Julie.
Yeah.
that's really
Um,
funny.
and
That's cool.
my favorite was Neville Goddard.
Mm.
Oh,
And
cool.
the cool thing about that is I learned from one of Suzanne's guests to do the show me the evidence thing. And I've talked about this with you, Leah, but basically, so as you're connected with whomever on the other side, you ask them just imaginary, place something in my hand that is of significance, that has meaning, but is also Googleable, if that's even a word. You can look it up on
Yeah.
Google by putting, like, for example, Neville Goddard and whatever they place in your hand, and that will come up with something verifiable.
All
And
right,
that's
you
so
have to
cool.
tell the story because that was incredible.
Yeah,
I have
tell
a
it.
couple of
The,
them.
the
Which
pizza one.
the pizza one? Did I put that? I don't know if I put that in the book, but real short. Let's see if I can remember it. Uh, I had oh, I'm not going to remember all the details, so I don't want to ruin the story. But basically, you would take the person you're speaking to and the item, put it in the Google search, and it will bring up something of significance. And I remember that one that it was really random because I did the Google search. It is in my book, and it came up with how you get the list of different links, and I was like, "Oh, there's nothing in there about him. Why?" And but what caught my eye is the top one was about Shangri La, and I'm like, "Why is Shangri La in this Google search?" I searched pizza and the name, but I was drawn to click on it. And it turns out the actual article had a different title that was about him. And the moral of the story was confirmation of what I was asking of him. It was just really cool how it just layered on top of each
That's
other.
so
But
cool. That's
that's also a fun
beautiful.
thing to practice because I think a lot of times we think it's our mind making stuff up, and it's not. If you just trust it and keep following it, it's
All
there.
right.
Yeah, I just thought my all my stuff was made up. Even though it was really powerful, I thought my whole space was made up. And doing readings, studying with Suzanne, meeting y'all, and doing sessions for people over and over again, it's like this cannot be made up. Like I do not know these people. I could never know these things I'm telling them
Yep.
every time. It's like, okay. It like gets rid of my skepticism, but it's not made up. It's very real. Um,
And
We should
yeah.
do a live. We should do a live one of these days. That was one of my ideas
Do a
for the
live
show
reading.
is kind of get on and ask people if they want to call in or I don't know if there's a chat on this thing, you know me with technology, but if they have
I
questions,
think
we
we
can
could do a
answer
YouTube
questions.
live. Yeah, a YouTube live would be really cool. We could totally do that next time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking of that, and plus a class, maybe an hour class between the three of us for people for free, just so they
Cool.
maybe teach to connect or something. And then if they want more later, great. But if not, that's fine. Maybe just enough to strike somebody's curiosity where they go a little bit deeper so they can get some closure and some healing.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd
Yeah.
love for Leah to do a reading on the air. Yeah, she's an amazing, amazing medium. Like, she's incredible. So, like, really. Anyway, it would be really cool. But
I guess I could, as long as it's not one of you guys, because,
you
we've
know
known
us too
each other.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well,
know
not
too many
not
people.
even. Like people say, if you know somebody, can you read them? Yes
Mhm.
and no. Um, there's also things like you would know if somebody passed away, if their mom passed away, right? So
Mhm.
you bring in stuff about their mom, and if you knew their mom, it's hard to prove to the person that you're really getting their mom there
Right, that's
because you
true.
knew the mom too. Um, but the psychic reading and things that are happening in their life that you don't know work. I
Yeah.
have I have a friend I just actually did a reading for fun that I don't really know her, getting to know her where we walk dogs together. And
Mhm.
she said, "Oh, I'd love a reading someday." And I said, "Sure." So one day it was raining and we sat in her car and I just did like, a 40-minute thing fast and I didn't know anything about her life except what she did for a living. And her grandfather came in and I kept asking her, "Geez, do you have a child?" And she said, "No." And I hate asking that because sometimes people have abortions or they lose a child and
Mhm.
it's so tough
Sensitive.
for people and I don't want to intrude on their privacy. And she said no and I said, I gotta say then, you know I gotta make sure that you've never had. She's like, "Nope, I never had one, I don't want kids, blah, blah." I said, Your grandfather is here and he has a child with him and it's a girl and I gotta say I feel like it's a soul coming in for you." And she's like, "I don't even want kids." And the reading went on and it was so beautiful because there's no pressure. um, and just yesterday she texted me. I said, "Do you want to go for a dog walk?" And she answered me strange and I said, "Hey, by the way, are you okay? It's just an intuition thing." And she said, "Actually, I think I'm pregnant."
Oh, I have goosebumps, Leah. You wait, really? That's so
Yep, and I
cool.
said, "What?" And she said, "Unexpected and unplanned, and really early, but didn't you tell me in my reading, which was, like, in the winter?"
Wow,
Yeah.
So,
Leah.
like, within 6 months, I said, "Yeah." I said, "You got a little golf pro coming," you know?
Wow.
You knew it was a
I
golf
already feel
club?
like it's a girl, but I didn't tell her that. Well, she teaches golf, and so does her
Oh,
husband, and they have a really great career.
oh,
And
that's
they just
cool.
didn't, they really were kind of okay with not having kids. And I said, I feel your grandfather's got this little girl on his lap who can't wait to come in. I'm just telling you.
Oh
And of
my
course,
God, Leah, that's so amazing.
I have no way to verify it, right?
Right.
Could have
Yeah,
never
readings like
happened.
that you can't. Well, Leah, I was going to ask you, it's funny you're telling this story. Amazing. I've had several psychics tell me in the last year or two
You're
that
pregnant.
I'm not pregnant, but that I have a baby near me that wants to come in, and I'm 45. So it's made me really freaked out. But it's like two separate people that didn't know each other. Do you feel that too, Leah? Or is it
Yeah.
just a
Well,
baby
as
that,
soon as you said it, I was like, okay, yeah.
like, do you
No
think, okay,
idea,
okay,
but it doesn't matter your age.
I know. Or it could be a baby like I lost, a long time ago. So, but
It
it's
could
hard
be.
to tell. Like we
Yeah.
don't know. But it's like,
That's the hard part,
yeah,
so it's hard
people
to
think
ask
it.
somebody,
Right.
but I just leave it out there, and you
Mhm.
just say it, and maybe it is, but I
I,
don't know. You'd be a great mom. I could see it happening.
I just have
Okay.
to say, because this is what
Sorry,
always
put you on the
happens,
spot.
right?
Yeah.
It's like Leah said, the setup. Something happens. No, it can't be. It can't this and that. And then you realize, oh, why did you tell that story about her? Right?
Right? Oh,
It's
that's
been on my mind. I think about it a lot. I'm like, were these people right? Like, how much older am I going to get before if they were right? Anyway, we'll see. I'll keep y'all posted. But
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. So Kate, that's a great thing. So for people who are watching, right? You get stuff and your book. You get stuff during the day that like you notice, and then something ties it all in at the end of the day. Just like, right? I just decided to tell that story, but then,
Why that
geez,
story?
I
Mm-hmm.
have this. This has been going in my mind. But also, you're so psychic. You're probably just matching my own energy and thoughts.
could yeah. How do I know? I don't
Who
know.
knows? We don't know.
I did a
Um,
reading once. I went to stop. I told you went to Stop and Shop, and there was to get groceries, and I'm like not even near the area, and something tells me to look, and there's a whole thing of like those, remember those pussy willows people used to have in their house?
Yeah.
mhm,
And I was like, oh my God, pussy willows. I haven't seen those in like 10 years. Those are so cool. Da, da, da. And I just went on grocery shopping. The next day I had a reading and I got the same pussy willows, right?
mhm,
For this lady. And I'm like, do pussy willows mean anything to you? Because I got the vision of what I saw the day before. And she's like,
mhm.
oh my God, they were my mother's favorite. We had them in every room in the house and
Oh
blah, blah,
my
blah. And
God.
so that's how Kate meant like the stuff shows up for you so you can bring it through later.
You
Like,
never
right?
would have thought of pussy willows if you hadn't have seen
Never in
them.
a
Because why
million
would
years. Like,
you?
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean?
That's so
Even
cool.
even phrases. I just did this with Leah today. A certain phrase that I used, and I don't
Really,
know why I used that phrase, but it was a
Mm,
tie-in to her.
to the
What?
book that I read
Yeah.
and the lesson I got.
so
Yep.
cool.
It was an absolute perfect match to
Yep.
what, and
That
it's what I
happens.
remembered out of the book all day.
That happens a lot. A lot.
So cool. It's the coolest thing ever.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what your next child is, Rebecca.
Well, both people separately said it was a girl.
Boy.
No, you say boy. Okay,
Oh,
or is it? I don't know, you guys. Maybe I'm not gonna have a baby. Maybe it's a lost baby, or it's just gonna sit around me, just hang out, not be born. I don't know.
it's
One
waiting
other
patiently.
what I know it's like get your stuff together,
Oh, yeah.
mom. Sorry. Um, the last story I was gonna tell similar. Okay, so I guess this we've kind of meandered on topics, but I think it's all been super relevant. Is like putting out there what you want or just staying tuned into the energies of your life. I'm working at a public school and I am about to be off for 2 months and I only make money when I work because I'm contract. And I was like, do I need to find another speech therapy job or should I just try to put it out there and do readings? I still have bills to pay. And I was like, God, if you want me to just do my spiritual stuff this summer, show me that I'll be able to like make enough money doing this. And that day, like literally that morning, I had that thought, I put it out there. And that day, I had someone book a package of 6 sessions, which is like $777. Like, I didn't think anyone would book it. I put it on as a marketing, like, you could get 6 sessions for this much, or one session is just this much. And my friend told me to do that but no, someone
Right.
thankfully booked that many sessions like that day. And I was like, I guess that's a sign that I should just try to make it work for the
Just go for
summer.
it.
Isn't that crazy?
Is that those for readings, Rebecca?
Well, they're now called Sacred Soul Sessions. It's like a combo of readings, coaching, and healing all combined. Just because sometimes I've had people come in that really want a reading, but like what they need is healing, kind of, so it's just
That's
kind of like
constant.
flow.
I think I might steal that from you. That's pretty
Steal
good.
it. Yeah, steal it. Just make it a combo everything because it's like once, and you just let spirit guide you towards what the person needs, and they get all of it. Usually it's like all of it. Um,
Yeah, because a lot of times people come in for a reading, right? And they get an entire psychic thing from me. But it's when I first started, I remember asking the girl who was doing readings next to me. I was at a psychic fair and I was like, some people don't get anyone to come in. They just get like this whole thing of stuff that just comes out. And she said, "Oh yeah, that's normal." And I was like, "It is?" I had no idea. And she said, "Yeah, when that stuff happens, it's because spirit knows they need
Need it.
whatever's coming through, that they don't necessarily need a reading from a deceased person or an angel reading, right? Okay, it's just something that
Yeah.
really resonated with them and they needed to learn and needed to help."
yeah, that's what I've started saying too. You taught me that too, Leah. And it's like if it comes in, like whatever is said is what's meant to be heard. Because I used to put so much pressure on myself, like I need to give a perfect reading and I just get everything right, and I would block myself, and I just
Yep.
say whatever comes through needs to come through. So
I love that sacred session.
yeah, sacred soul session.
Mm. You mind if I plagiarize that?
Well, you might want to come up with your own name for it, but you can. You
Okay.
can plagiarize it. We're in different regions. But
Yeah.
Sacred Soul Session, it's more because it's like an angel. I don't know. I came up with it at church on
No, it's
Christmas.
awesome. No, I love it. I mean, I'll come up with something different, but yeah, I've been trying to think of something that
Like it's
encompasses all of it. Not, do you want a mediumship reading? Do you want a psychic reading? A
Yeah.
tarot card reading? Like whatever comes through from spirit,
let's come
you know,
up, let's brainstorm for you. I would love
spirit
to help you.
guidance. I don't know.
There's going to be a perfect name
Hate
for
life coach name. No
Yeah.
offense to all the life coach people. I just think it's an overused term for me,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I'm trying to. I'll figure it. God will give
I
it.
want to help you brainstorm. I'm on the edge of coming up with something really good, and I kind of think we can not use AI for it. We don't need to go to ChatGPT. We could, but like I didn't come up with my name through ChatGPT. It was through like prayer.
I
So
know. That's why I've been asking, and so the fact that I haven't got it, maybe they're not ready yet. I don't know. You know?
yeah, we'll see. We'll tell y'all when she gets the name of her new sessions. It'll be combo. I think combo's the good way to go. I like it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
A spiritual combo. It reminds me of my dogs in here. What are
Oh,
those pretzels combos?
oh yeah. Oh, those are it.
Mhm.
Any other closing thoughts, Kate? Anything else you want to add to
The
today?
one thing that jumped out to me while you were talking, because it's a lesson that has been coming up a lot lately, when you said that you you needed to figure out whether to work or to do the spiritual stuff. I need to pay my bills. That's been coming up a lot lately, where the message is we have to stop thinking from the human. It's hard. I understand it's hard, but the human pay the bill side, that if you go into trust that, God will always lead you in the right direction, and reframe it, re-say it,
Hmm.
that,
Hmm.
go with your passion. What would you rather do? What would you like to do? Where is your heart? What would your heart want to do? And I bet you it's probably do some spiritual readings and then let the money come. And
Yeah.
that's been playing. Again, we're being aware of what's crossing our paths, and that's coming in a lot.
Hmm.
And I think when people start to, like Leah and I talked about, let go, don't be attached to the outcome, just trust that your path will be laid out in front of you. You might not see the end, you might only get the next step in front of you.
Hmm.
But I think the message for me that
Attached from the outcome.
yeah, the message I keep hearing is follow your heart, follow your purpose, follow your
Beautiful.
heart. The money will come.
My
Tucker,
dog, my
He
dog
agrees.
agrees.
He
he said
agrees. Oh, that's so
yes.
cute. I love it. It's so true. That's so true. Great, great closing message from Kate. Follow your heart, the money will come. I have
Follow the
seen that in
flow,
my life.
Kate. Remember
Follow
today?
the flow. Okay. So everybody follow the flow. We'll see you next episode. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.